Hi pirates, welcome to Cry Havoc. This is the mastery level. I did some experimenting and I'm gonna share with you the best I could do with the fleet I have. I know not everyone has 2 Warhounds or 2 Basilisks upgraded, but that's the best fleet I have and not much else, so that's the one I'm gonna use. This Creeping Death crew helps with the building damage and the extra 30 seconds in the battle. As you're gonna see, I'm gonna do a lot of preps. The first thing I do, I push the down arrow on the keyboard so my ships don't move. In every battle I start like that, and then I go and I check the range and the place of each heavy turret so I can move my Basilisks and stuff out of range. So you're gonna see now the first one I'm gonna do is the 2 Warhounds. I'm gonna move them to that little corner because that's inside the minimum range of the UAV turrets. Next up, I'm gonna bring the Basilisks and the Subjugator. The Subjugator has an important role. It takes fire away from the Basilisks. It also makes them a lot more powerful if you read the aura. Gives them a lot more damage.
Since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, you wanna get in my crew, boy, you can't get in my crew. Me, XL and Hubo, way too fireball. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop,
right at this point, I'm gonna move the Basilisks to prep some of the turrets. It's important to notice mine are upgraded and they also have the explosive scope, so they are operating at maximum range. If yours are not, you won't be able to do a lot of the things you see me do in these battles because your range won't be long enough, so keep that in mind. And now it's time to move the Warhounds in. This heavy rocket turret, it doesn't do much damage initially, but it does 2 things. It has a slow field, so whenever it hits your fleets it slows them down. And with every hit it takes away some of your explosive deflection, so if you stay there and you don't kill it, over time it starts to hurt you pretty bad. So you gotta either get out of its range fast or just kill it.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are.
This is one of my least favorite battles. As you can see, every single heavy turret is a launcher, which means you're going to shockwave a lot as you move in that channel, and it can hurt. So I'm gonna do some prep first. I'm gonna get all 3 gates out of the way without going in the channel, without getting range of any launchers. And in the meantime, we're gonna use the Basilisks and the Subjugator to prep some turrets from the outside. It's important to leave the Subjugator the closest to the corrosive turret. And then I also move one Warhound to that position so the radioactive weapon in the outpost doesn't fire at the Basilisk, because it fires at the ship that's the farthest from the outpost. So that's why I position that Warhound in there while I prep a few launchers. This way it's going to be a bit harder to shockwave, so the more you can kill the better. So I'm sending the Warhounds in, and then as you can see the launchers mostly don't hit the first leg of the channel. So I'm going to place the Subjugator. It's a high evade ship. The builds are presented at the end and throughout the video. And the Basilisks will help a little bit with killing the turrets faster, so the Warhounds take even less damage.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand.
I always have to repair after this battle, so this time I'm docking. It's just over an hour, so let's dock, and I'm gonna spend 2 coins, and that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna launch again even with that last Basilisk a bit damaged, and let's go now to the next battle. Once again I push the down arrow so the ships don't move. This base is all Thunderlord mortars and heavy rockets, so it's pretty much all explosive. The trick is to move your ships inside the minimum range of the mortar. So first I'll position the 2 Warhounds, one on each side, so they don't get damaged by the same splash. And I try to get them both behind and outside the range of each rocket, so they shouldn't be firing. Then I move the Subjugator within the minimum range, so most if not all Thunderlord should stop firing. And then I bring the Basilisks to help prep some turrets and the gates, so the Warhounds can just charge in and kill the center. Battle number 4 is the most time consuming one. All these ballistic long range heavy turrets, their cannons, they hurt. I don't have ballistic armor on my ships, so there will be some prepping. You see that little gun in there that points to the right? The goal is to eliminate her first. Once that gun's gone, it's easier to position our ships on that other side and prep the gates. So I don't use the Warhounds, I press the down arrow, they don't move. I'm only bringing the Subjugator, then the Basilisks to that corner. I stopped one Warhound on the upper left in there, so it attracts that outpost radioactive gun. So now position the Basilisks and let's kill that turret and some scatter guns along with it. So it's gonna make our job easier later. So that's just a prep hit. Now this is the most boring prep of all, because you gotta circle the whole base. The goal is not to cross on the kill zone in front of the gates where all the cannons, the heavy cannons, will fire at you. So let's go around the whole base. We keep the Warhound in that corner so it attracts the outpost fire. This video is playing at 4 times the normal speed, so it looks fast, but that takes like 5 minutes to just go around and kill the gates the way I want to. And moving the Warhound as well, just so it attracts some fire. The goal is not to let the Basilisks take that fire, because they will take damage, right? They're kind of like glass cannons. So now we move the Subjugator close enough that anything in the gates will fire at it and not at the Basilisks. And then we position the other Warhound again to attract fire's bait. And try to now use the Basilisks to kill all the gates and, if possible, another turret. So this time when we charge on the main hit, the Warhounds can just move and not be stopped by the gates and take a lot of damage. Playing this at 4 times normal speed, so now keep the Basilisks and the Subjugator out. The goal is to just get very close to the wall at the U of the channel, right there, where the guns are out of range. So you're inside the minimum range of the cannons, they won't be firing. Prioritize killing the scatter guns because they're firing at you, so actively click on the scatter guns to fire on them first. And you can get everything from there, even the outpost. This one's full of heavy scatter guns, so as long as you don't stop in that stretch of the channel where they all fire, you're good. I'm sending the Warhounds to the right to prepare the gates, and in the meantime I'm also going to use the Basilisk and the Subjugators to prep the gates as much as I can. There's nothing else that I could prep from the outside, the turret's nothing like that, so it's straight kill the gates, retreat, and then just charge.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you.
This is usually a good spot to repair the fleet. As you can see, I'm just over 2 hours, so I'm going to dock. and repair in the base, and just spend 3 coins here. That makes 5 total.
Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again.
This base, as you can see, has no long range turrets. All the heavy turrets are mid-short range. So we're going to position the Howlers to kill the turrets and gates at the entrance, and then use the Basilisks and the Subjugator to prep gates and turrets as much as we can.
We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong.
In the same heat now you can send the Warhounds in and move the Basilisks to the first curve there inside the channel, where they can help take the main island without being fired at by anything in particular.
Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again.
Base number 7 is the last one, and as you can see it has a little bit of everything. It has 2 UAV turrets, 2 scattergun heavy turrets, it has 4 launchers. So the first step I take is to clear the turrets at the rim so I can approach with the Basilisk safely, and I do that keeping them in the UAV range. That's the only one I can avoid, but you can avoid the scatterguns and everything else. Then approach with the Subjugator, approach with the Basilisks. I go way to the left and then approach to avoid the UAVs. And now we're gonna try and take a gate with a heavy mortar included with the Basilisk. I'm trying to position the other Warhound so it attracts the yellow radioactive fire from the outpost there. And now as we just take a little bit of a prep, if you keep the Basilisks in the range of the Subjugator, the UAVs won't hit them. This point is just a charge. I mean, I could stop in there and try to take the turrets, but with the launchers firing, you don't want to be there for too long. I'm just killing the gate. In the meantime, I alternate the hounds taking fire, so it's not just all on one, otherwise the shockwave is too fast. And then just get out of there, get behind the launcher's range, and I'm using the Subjugator to attract the outpost fire, so there's no problem of the hounds not firing. You take a lot of damage on them, there's no other way, and then I just move to the back and try to kill whatever's firing first. Scatterguns, anything that's getting in the way, glacial turrets and whatnot, kill them first, because now the heavy turrets primarily don't represent a problem anymore.
You came out searching for a reason. You came out looking to throw me around, but I'll be holding on forever. You won't bring me
So that's it, Mastery Pack. On average I was spending 6-7 coins, this was 5. There was a learning curve of course, in the first packs I spent a lot more. Hope you enjoyed that, thanks for watching.
Came out looking to throw me around, but I'll be